Hey there. How are you? How are you? It's been a minute. This is Lindsay Enita, your spiritual mentor, your faith in action coach and mentor, your spiritual development coach, speaker, and trainer. Oh my goodness. I've had so many things going on, and each Wednesday comes and it goes, and then I go, oh, dang it. I forgot to post. So let me first apologize for that. But thank you for joining me. I wanted to quickly talk about this thing about, do you forgive yourself easily? Do you forgive yourself easily? And a lot of times, like, that sounds like a crazy question, but what really happens is we end up going through things, right? Making these choices, doing this stuff, and then saying, all right, I'm all right. I'm good. But we have this guilt and we have this, like condemnation kind of thing. Like, dang, why did I do that? Hey, y'all, say hey to me. And so forgiveness is not easy on any level. Like, I've not met anybody who's real quick to say, yo, I'm the best forgiver ever. I know exactly how to do it at all times. I'm quick with it. Usually forgiveness takes a while. And especially if somebody hurt us, then forgiveness really takes a long time for us to forgive and kind of move on from that. But what about when you have done something that offended you, that hurt you? Are you easy to forgive yourself? Because many times we can extend forgiveness to other people, but we forget to extend that same forgiveness to ourselves. Because we go through this thought pattern. Dang, I knew better than that. What were you thinking? You knew what you were doing when you did that. Come on, man. All kinds of stuff go on in your head. Or you made a decision maybe to be with someone and it just didn't turn out to be good. Say hey to me so I know who I'm talking to. It didn't turn out good. And then you pretty much go through this, dang, well, did I miss the signs? Like, was I stupid for staying with them? What was wrong with me that I couldn't see that? Or, is there something wrong with me that will stay with someone like that or stay in a situation like that? People go through these things all the time. All the time. And people are told as Christians, right? You need to forgive. Jesus told us that we got to forgive in order to be forgiven. And sometimes we go, okay, I'm going to forgive them for what they did to me. All right, I'm going to forgive them for, what she said to me or what he said to me or what that coworker did to me. I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to walk in forgiveness. But a lot of times we carry around unforgiveness in ourselves for ourselves because we can't get past what we did. But I'm telling you, there's people within the Bible, right? One in particular is Peter. That, if you guys in the Bible, cool. If you're not, let me tell you who he is. Peter was a disciple. He easily followed Jesus. He was a fisherman, and Jesus was like, come with me. All right, cool. He left everything, his family, everything, and he followed Jesus. He was also the one that Jesus told him that he would build his church on. Right. So this the man, I'm trying to help you understand exactly who he is. Right. So he's very sure of himself. He was like, Jesus told me he was his name was originally Simon. Jesus called him Peter because he said, you are the rock that I will build my church on. And he did. So this isn't like some little, demure, like, whatever. No, Peter was strong. Peter was the man. Peter also had a mouth and, he was quick to slash somebody. Which is why I like Peter. He was just real. But something that he did do, he was so far along in his faith, he thought that he would never betray Jesus, that he wouldn't deny Jesus, rather. So Jesus told him right before the people came to get Jesus, he was like, will you betray me? And he was like, no, I wouldn't betray you. And he was like, yeah, you're going to betray me 3 times. And Peter was like, no, I'm not. I would never fall away like the rest of them. Like, that's what he said. I would never fall away like the rest of them. And so then the people came, they took Jesus. Peter followed just like everybody else to kind of see what was going to happen. And then as Peter was kind of in the courtyard listening to what was happening with Jesus and the other Pharisees, this girl was like, "Hey, aren't you with Jesus?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't know him." Right? So that was denial number one. He went on, he kind of got closer, he went by the fire, and he was like, "Hey," somebody's like, "Yo, aren't you one of those people? Like, I recognize your accent. You're from Galilee, right?" And he was like, "No, I don't know him. I'm not with him. I heard what was going on. I'm not with him." The third time he got so ticked off, he cussed at him. He was like, "Bleep this, I ain't with him. I don't know Jesus." Right? I'm not one of his boys. And so soon as he said that, the rooster crowed, just like Jesus said. And guess what? In I want to say it's in Luke, that version said that Jesus looked over, caught Peter's eye in the courtyard. Now, how would you feel if you were like, "I love Jesus, and I would never deny him. I wouldn't do that because I love him so much. We've gone through too many things together for me to deny him," but you do. Oh my gosh, it said in each version that Peter wept, and he wept aloud bitterly because he was disappointed. Like, how could I do that? How could I deny Christ like that? And personally, I know I have been in a place, I've shared this with you guys before, that I wanted to be a part of a conversation, that when I was in this conversation, she went on, hey Tiffany, went on, and basically in the conversation, she stopped and asked me directly, "Hey, are you a Christian?" And my answer should have been what? It should have been yes. But that's not what my answer was. My answer was sometimes. Sometimes, like, for real though. This wasn't this year, so don't think I'm not backsliding. This is the truth though, right? I'm always gonna bring you the truth. I said sometimes, and I promise you, that answer rang around in my heart, like, and in my head for some days. I was so disappointed in myself. So disappointed in myself that I would compromise that I had to take a step back and go, "What is going on with you? What is that?" And so for that, I know, not from what I heard, but from what I know, sometimes it's difficult to begin a forgiveness process within yourself. And so here you go. You need to become aware of why you said it, why you did it, why you acted in that way. Become aware of that. Why did I do it? And be honest with yourself. What was my honesty? I wanted to be a part of that conversation, and I wanted to know what she was going to say. So I knew the answer, yes, might stop or sway the conversation. No, I wanted to hear the raw data of the thing. I didn't want any filter. I didn't want anything left out. And so, my answer was sometimes. And I had to be honest with myself and say, okay, I wanted to be a part of that conversation. I'm not saying it was right to answer in that way, but I had to be honest with myself to say I wanted to be a part. And so for that, okay, I took ownership. I took ownership of the thing. I said, all right, well, I said it. Then I had to think about, is that my truth though? No, that's not my truth. Do I love Jesus and am I a Christian? Yes, I am. I am. But sometimes I wanted, and especially, and this was about a couple of years ago, I wanted to be a part of the conversation. I did. And I had to deal with the fact of sometimes it's not easy to just say, yes, I'm a Christian and be left out. That's the truth. Sometimes you go, yo, I want to be a part of this action. Don't leave me out. So then you say, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes. Let's be honest. Every time you're out, you're probably not 100% on the Jesus thing as far as exuding it, right? Your love for him is always there. But sometimes we don't exude our love for Jesus the way that we should. And so then we end up in situations like I was in, where I said sometimes, but my heart for him didn't change. but I had to deal with me. And that's where the big breakthrough is. When you can deal with you and say, hey, Jay, you can deal with you and say, this is why I said, or this is why I compromised that point. Or when in whatever it is, whatever point of forgiveness, unforgiveness you have for yourself, you need to own why you did whatever it is you did that created that conflict within you. Forgiving yourself is being honest with yourself about what happened and why. Forgiving yourself is understanding that you're not perfect and that you will make mistakes. Now, the tragedy is if you make the mistake and you keep making the mistake, right? What needs to happen is make the mistake and be like, dang, I jacked that up, man. Like, man, I messed it up. Now what do I do with it? What lesson do I need to learn? What truth about me do I need to accept? This is how you get through forgiving yourself for these things, forgiving yourself for situations and decisions and thoughts. So when you say, okay, I'm going to own what happened. This is my truth about the thing. When you say, okay, I'm aware that I wanted to be a part, or I didn't want my Christianity to keep me out of the fun, right? That was my situation. And then say, all right, my truth is that I love God. And how do I get past the fact that I just openly said sometimes to being a Christian? I had to go back and say, okay, what is my truth? And say, I forgive you for this lesson, understanding the situation so I don't have to be in it again. If another time comes up and somebody says, are you a Christian? Even if it means that I'm going to miss out, guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to say yes, because it hurt me too bad afterwards for me to say no, or sometimes. And so that's my truth. Your truth is getting to the root of why you are still or were still in that situation, being honest with yourself about the thing, right? Taking ownership of it and saying, let me learn the lesson. Because I guarantee if you don't learn the lesson, it's going to come back again and bust you in the mouth. How do I know? I've been hit quite a few times by not learning the lesson that I needed to learn. So you guys, say some stuff. Give me some hearts to let me know that you're there. Because in the end, we have to get to the point where we learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we have made. If we say we forgive others as we forgive those who trespass against us, when we lie to ourselves, when we put ourselves in bad positions, we are trespassing against ourselves, against the very nature who lives inside of us, and that's Jesus Christ, right? So we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. We have to learn how to show ourselves mercy and grace. I'm not telling you to condone the craziness that we do, right? I got craziness, you got craziness, we all got stuff. I'm not saying condone it. I'm saying admit it. Admit it to God. God, look, I got this stuff, man. I can't seem to shake it. I can't seem to let it go. It's very easy to condemn yourself. It's very easy to get down on yourself and go, dang, I messed that up. I'm always messing up. I'm always, doing this or that. You don't have to do that, because God's forgiveness, just like he says, forgive 4 times, 70 times 70, right? Man, 70 times 7, that's a lot of forgiving. That's a lot of forgiving. And when we think about what people have done to us, then some kind of way we have to say, all right, either I'm going to forgive them or I'm not. But I say the same thing for you. I pose that same question for you. Either you're going to forgive yourself for the decisions and the choices and the actions, or you're not. If you don't, though, you will never, never, never live in the greatness that God has created for you. You won't do it. Why? Because you'll always deem yourself unworthy. You'll deem yourself unworthy to receive all that he is doing or wants to do for you, because you go, but God, look what I did. But God, I did this bad. God is telling us consistently that once we ask for forgiveness and he says, all right, then he don't bring that stuff up no more. We bring that stuff up. consider, I mean, we continuously to bring it up. God, remember I did this. I'm so sorry. And God's like, what are you talking about? I'm not even on that page. I'm talking about what we're doing in the future. How are we doing right now? Not what we did in the past. Let that stuff go. Forgive yourself for those decisions. Learn from them. God, what is it that I need to learn today about me? What is it that I need to learn today about you so that I can forgive myself and move on? I promise you. I promise you. It's one of the best things that you will ever do for yourself. Jay says we must first and foremost be true to ourselves. Exactly. Being true to yourself and being honest with yourself is a massive gift. A massive gift. When you begin to be honest with yourself and who you truly are, it's so much easier to deal with the world. Okay? So if you guys have questions, comments, anything like that, hit me up down on the comments below. I go through them every time. If you're not in my Facebook group, I invite you to come and do it. Right now, I'm really focusing on women, but I'm open to men too, because guess what? We got real stuff that we need to talk about. This is real life faith, and it's not just real life for women. It's real life for men too. So join the Facebook group. Also, I'm doing a vision party on Monday at 8:30. Yes, you can share. Please share. Please share. In every video that I ever do, you can share every post. Please share, because people need to know this, and I don't really bring stuff in the same kind of way that people do. So yeah, share with everybody. Don't bother me at all. Also, like I said, I'm doing a vision party. It's free, so it's not paid. It's free, but we're gonna do a virtual vision party. I would love for you to be a part. If you want to be a part of the vision party, then at the bottom of here, put vision party, so that then I can send you an invitation. Okay? We're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna get ready for 2017, because it's time out for time. You don't have time to waste. You're not put here just to be, willy-nilly here. You're here because God has created you to do something amazing in the earth. And it's about time you figured out what that is. Stop walking around going, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Nah, we don't have to do that. We do not have to do that. You don't have to wonder who you are and why you're here. God does not just leave us here wandering. He leaves us here so that we can make our way back to him and figure out who we really are. And that is the beauty of what I do. And I love to do that, because I get asked that question probably 3 or 4 times a week. Hey, I don't know who I am. Can you help me? I don't know what my purpose is. Can you help me? Yes. Yes, I can. And it starts with that first thing, and I told you today about forgiving yourself, is being honest with yourself. So I would love to work with you. The first thing is free. I want you guys to work with me. Please work with me. I love to see everybody doing exactly what God created them to do. So I'm going to get out of here. I got to get some more work done. I love you. I love you. This is Lindsay Enita, your spiritual development coach, speaker, and trainer, your faith in action mentor. I want to see you live this faith thing out, baby. Faith is messy, but God is real. I'll talk to you later. Bye.